Hey everyone, it's me, Passion Bogat. Today I thought that I'll speak about skepticism and why is it so important, especially when you speak with demons, angels, deities, doesn't matter. Skepticism is so important because when we think about our upbringing, perhaps like myself, you've been raised in a religious household where things are very fundamental, so to speak, or perhaps if you're Jewish or was a Jew, you would have been in an Orthodox household, but yet we wasn't skeptical enough. We just taken the word of our elder, priest, rabbi, whatever have you, on their good word and just accept it as truth, let alone the fact that we were very young to distinguish truth from fiction, reality, or it just brings us back to fiction again. But by being skeptical, we're able to reason things out. Now, when we look at our past, we probably didn't even ask the right questions as well. Or we did ask questions, but they were not the right questions that led us to satisfiable and reliable answers that work for us. But yet today, if you're like myself, or you're still within the age range where you cannot be without supervision of your parents, of course, use good sense, meaning you don't want to challenge your parents to a point if it's going to be at a great cost to you, namely speaking to be evicted out of your home or something of that nature. But you are always free to have your own voice and your own belief systems, irrespective to what your parents believe. Hence, when you go to, let's say, an emergency room or even a police station, whatever governmental branch. So in other words, being the fact that you are a child, right? Just in case you are that are watching, it doesn't necessarily mean that your belief system is the same as your mom or dad. Even though you may be an adolescent, they may have raised you, let's say, a Catholic. But do you believe in a Catholic God? Well, if you're like myself that are really interested in these type of deals, especially when you see them on Netflix or something, you are very intrigued on why they ask those questions. Well, it's because due to skepticism, doubt, it really leads you to the truth. Because not everything in plain sight or not everything that shines and glitters and gold is good for you. But you have to be skeptical because you could be speaking to someone that does not believe what you believe, even though you haven't taught them for a very, very long time. Well, that's why we're talking about this, because there's been so many rumors, if you will, that have you ever noticed that when someone would speak to and work with, let's say, the demonic King Mammon or even King Paimon, and they had bad experiences and they write about it, they have a blog, and then some people would read it and then believe it, then others do not. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about, to be skeptical. Because it's not about what is impossible, but what is probable. So in other words, we're not saying it's not true, but we're saying the likelihood of it being true could be far less. And that's exactly the realms that we want to delve deep within, because either Paimon or Lord Paimon did do that to the individual or not. Skepticism will help you to see that perhaps the person may have left out information, perhaps did the ritual completely wrong in the sense of not fulfilling their end of the bargain, that ended up, well, being hurt. Because honestly speaking, if you're not going to fulfill your end, your oath, then that particular demon or devil, deity, whatever, that you're actually communicating with has the right to be upset, because I know I would be upset, and sure would you, or should I say, so would you. So therefore, being skeptical is very important. Now, I want to verify something. I want to confirm something. And what I mean by that is that we're not talking about a hard skepticism or a hard atheism, meaning when, let's say, Satan speaks to me or to you, we don't want to go to war with the invisible badass that would not be healthy for me nor for you, and it would not be proper for our health plan if we have it or not. It just wouldn't be the most intelligent. But yet, that's not to say that Satan would even do that. But of course, I'm just exaggerating, being humorous. But the point still remains that my point in making this video is not saying that we're skeptical toward Satan and the demons in a hard skeptic or a hard atheist way, meaning we flat out don't believe them and we become very disrespectful in that type of paradigm. So how do we approach it? Well, you can still remain to be skeptical, but we'll call this soft skepticism. Because if you're like myself, you dealt with the demonic for a while, you've seen a lot of physical manifestations of these demonic kings, princes, demonists, and so forth, and even those of angels and others outside of the Goetia and in their pantheon, respectfully. So it's definitely not atheism, soft or hard atheism, so we could definitely rule that out. But yet, if you approach them in a soft, skeptical way, like for example, let's say you have not spoke to Satan, and this is your first time, and you're young, or even inexperienced at that. Age really has nothing to do with it. And you never spoke to Satan before, and you did a ritual, and let's just say you're just one of the rare ones where there is a physical manifestation of Satan right in front of you. Let alone the shock, the excitement, all that good stuff that comes with it. That's the time to use soft skepticism. The reason being is that though a spirit had appeared before you, it doesn't mean that it's the spirit that you were trying to communicate with, because you do have astral parasites. People call these things in other pantheons of different categories different things like sludge and whatever have you. But those who are experienced know what I mean, because these entities could masquerade as who they want you to believe them as to be and mislead you, and they could be tricksters. So to avoid all that, you need to have some form of soft skepticism. And again, you don't need to be disrespectful. It's like when someone knocks on my door trying to push Jesus and Yahweh on me. I don't need to be angry. I don't need to yell and scream. I could just politely let them know that that's not what I believe in, or at least I don't believe their version of it. You get what I'm trying to say? You can still make your point by being skeptical and dismissing it. So that's the saying that you want to go, or the path that you want to go with when you're speaking with the demonic, especially if it is your first time. Because you could write a number of numerology on a piece of paper that you've done research that you could not say out loud, look at that particular number, and try to apply it yourself. Only you would know the special meaning of that number. And then if that spirit appears, you basically, that could be their interview. You could let them basically figure out what the number is on that paper. You don't show them, you put it face down, and then if they were to explain the number or your personal numerology of what 33, 9, 93, whatever the number may be, then that would be a good thing, because if they get it right, then you will know that it is the spirit that you claim, or they claim to be. And you don't even have to stop there. You could continue and interviewing, because there's nothing wrong with being safe. And if that particular spirit says that they are who they say they are, then they wouldn't mind going through that soft skepticism, that process, because you want to know that you're getting exactly what you're asking for. I mean, think about it. We may think in ancient times where these people, though I personally feel it's the further you go back in time, they're super, super spiritual. But they can't tell the difference between someone who is schizophrenic. I know I kind of botched the word, but for someone that falls in that mental category or mental illness versus someone who really is speaking with the demonic or the deities at that time. Then they'll classify them as, let's say, demon possessed. Well, that could be true, But yet we're talking in the realms of what is probable, being skeptical. And of course, to be fair, living in 2020 and looking back, we could quickly say that, oh, it's just schizophrenic. But is that really true? Well, if you're a skeptic like myself, it's not what's impossible, it's what's probable. Because if they can't tell the difference and we cannot tell the difference in 2020, hell, it's a lot worse. Advanced, but worse. We don't, as a people, as a human family, we don't believe in demon possession anymore. Or at least the outside world do. Not myself as the cultist or you that are watching. But they do believe in the fact that a person that is supposedly demon possessed is in fact, well, have a mental illness. And then they categorize it as some, whatever it may be. Oh, the demon didn't, come to you at night. It's sleep paralysis. You know what I mean? They tend to label what you're going through as some sort of medical term, as if it makes it go away. And that within itself is not exactly, well, truth. It's what's probable. Because who's to say that the demonic are not communicating with you through your lucid dreamings, right? But yet, that's why skepticism is so important, because it will lead you to the truth as long as you're respective to the demon, the angel, or the God that you're speaking with. It's going to be successful, okay? So keep that in mind and be safe. I love you all, and thank you for watching to the Passion and Boget channel, and I see you next time. Have a good one. Hail Satan.